Hey, hi.
I will be leading tonight's meeting for the first time. They threw me in the fire. So bear with me. If I mess up anywhere, please just let me know. I'll be calling this Ann Arbor Public Art Commission meeting to order. It's July 12th, 2023, and it is 7:03 p.m. Before we get to roll call on the agenda, we do want to welcome our new commission member, Fong Zhang. Welcome, Fong. Fong
Thank
hopes
you.
no problem. Fong hopes to become more engaged with the public art in Ann Arbor. As an educator and UMA docent, she's very excited to be involved with the Ann Arbor Art community with the hopes that more public arts will be displayed in good locations to inspire our residents. Welcome, Fong. You had anything you want to say before we start the agenda?
Nothing in particular. Thank you so much for having me on the board. I'm looking forward to know more about the commission and how much, my personal involvement can make a different thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome. All right. We will get to the roll call. I'll just kind of go in order of my screen. John Kotarski.
Here in Ann Arbor.
Sarah Fuller.
Here in Chelsea.
I'm Jamal Bufford, present in Superior Township, Michigan. Fong Zhang.
Ann Arbor, Pittsfield Township.
Peggy Leonard. You're muted.
Now present Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you. Last but not least, Miss Marionetta Porter.
Present in Ann Arbor.
Right. All right. Moving along in the agenda, I invite a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Do I have a motion to approve? All right. I think that means we're good to go. Okay, awesome. All right, so what I see next on the agenda is public comment. We have Thea Eck on with us. So Thea Eck is the gallery director of the Ann Arbor Art Center. We'll share some Art Center updates. Thea?
Hi, yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me at this month's meeting. I'm really excited to kind of present and talk about what's been happening here in the galleries program at the Ann Arbor Art Center, the A2AC. And I just want to show appreciation for Vanita tonight for the invitation, as well as Marionetta Porter for the invitation to talk. Welcome. Thank you. So I've been with the A2AC just since September 2022, so fairly new, just the last couple months, and was brought on to kind of re-envision and shape the program. So the Ann Arbor Art Center, basically during the pandemic, expanded. Sorry, let me back up. About 5 years ago, the Ann Arbor Art Center started a capital campaign. And this was to kind of reconstruct the space, do major infrastructure updates, and as well as to expand the gallery. So this all kind of happened, or all the major construction happened during the pandemic. And the building next door was purchased, 115, and that's where the new gallery is located. So I have a presentation. So I think you gave me the option to share screen, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you can all see that. Yeah, okay. So the A2AC exhibitions.
Hold on.
Just got muted somehow.
Yeah,
Back.
okay.
Okay, sorry about that, Thea.
It's okay. Our exhibitions program here at the Art Center encompasses 3 different spaces as well as the shop. We have the new gallery, which is the one which is located right next door to the main building, and it's connected. The A2AC gallery, which you may have gone to, it's our new ground floor level gallery, as well as our new Spotlight gallery, which is on the 2nd floor. And the aquarium gallery, which has been here, that's our kind of window space that's about 5 feet by 5 feet, that's located right on Ashley on the side of our building. Our exhibitions program also includes the A2AC shop, our retail store. So I'm just going to walk through each of the spaces and kind of give you some highlights from the year and kind of explain what the new vision and mission is. So our main gallery, this is our ground floor gallery here. You can see an image of that. Kind of showcases smaller group shows. It has a national and regional focus. We do a lot. We try to build out a program of events and activities that highlight the themes or the artists in the show. And this whole program started just in January. So I'm going to start with the images, from our shows just this past January. Starting in February, this was a good example of one of our feature shows, which was called Energy Transfer, which I curated, featuring 4 regional artists at different stages of career. Some are, mid-career artists. Others, such as Natalia Roccoforte, is an emerging artist that just received her MFA from Penny Stamp School of Art and Design here at the University of Michigan. So there was a range of, artist levels, career levels, but just dynamic work, and all this work was interactive. So kind of a nice dreary Michigan February show that kind of activated the space. In March, so continuing with the Ann Arbor Film Festival, the Art Center has been hosting the Ann Arbor Film Festival's juried film and video installation artists since about 2016. And this partnership has been fantastic for both organizations. The Art Center has loved having these artists. It brings kind of a different feel to the Art Center's programs. And so we carried that on this past March because it felt kind of in line with the new mission and vision. And this show featured 5 artists. Only one of them was a regional artist. Here you can see this kind of red light bulb piece that was by a regional artist. The other artists, 2 artists were from Canada, 1 artist from New York. I'm forgetting where the other 3 artists from Canada. Yeah. And then 1 from New York and then 1 regional. April was featured Island Performance Collaborative. And this was a really exciting moment here at the Arts Center. This is the first time that the Arts Center has ever hosted a performing arts group. Island is an AAPI based collaborative that includes poets and dancers, they call themselves movers, musicians, and sound artists, lighting designers, and it is a very dynamic group. They're both based here in Ann Arbor, as well as they have members in Chicago. And we were able to get an Arts Midwest touring grant to host them in residence for the month. I don't know if anyone was able to be here for that, but it was just, they did four stunning performances of a new piece. So that grant enabled them to, create a new piece that they can then take to other spaces and perform. But that was fantastic. In May into June, we had our first guest curator. That was a visual artist, Lee Noel Wilson. And as I worked with Lee to kind of create this show, we ended up pulling in 2 regional writers who are both professional writers to then curate in 12 writers into the show. So it ended up being very interdisciplinary. Again, another interdisciplinary presentation in the gallery. And I'll just go back to compare. This is the same space. So here you can see how much this gallery really gets transformed by whatever art installation is there. You know, from there to there, it's the same kind of angle in the space. So here we have, we presented the writers or the text on these banners and as well as the artwork around the gallery. And the theme of the show was all maternal interior. It was all kind of reflecting on the experience of motherhood. So another feature or another focus of our main A2AC gallery here is doing supplemental programming to help, again, either support the artists and their materials they're working with or the themes of the show. One of the programs we have that's ongoing that we received a DTE Energy Foundation grant for is called A2AC Play Lab. And it's specifically for caregivers and children ages from around 3 to 9, depending on what the workshop is. They happen once a month or in line with each of the shows. So we have that program, as well as, which kind of falls in line with the Art Center's arts education program here. We are trying to find a way to engage families, to get them into the space, to see the gallery as a space that they can bring children into, and that it's safe and there's things to learn and there's things to interact with. So that's kind of what that program is. We also have a curator artist conversation that happens with each show. And that also, we have a community sponsor for that, Hyperion Coffee, our next door neighbors here on West Liberty Street. So here's a few examples of the A2AC Play Lab. In February, we hosted Hannah Burr, who was an artist in that show. And so she did a workshop, this kind of block. You can see the kids building and their caregivers building this kind of block sculpture. And that block sculpture ended up staying in the gallery space as kind of this like remnants, or I guess as a living sculpture after the show. So this idea of the community sculpture became, again, part of the show. During the film festival in March, we had the Pickle Fort Film Collective come and do a 16mm film workshop with kids. And this was an example where the kids were a little older. So we had 2 groups. We had one group that was 3 through 5-year-olds, and then a second session for 6 through 10-year-olds. So in this example, we kind of split those ages up and kind of expanded. The older age group was a little longer and a little more, we gave them, I guess, messier materials to work with. And then they got to debut their 16mm films there, that with sound, and then create sound effects and such. So the next 2 examples I'm going to use were specific events that aren't reoccurring, but ones that fell in line with the shows. The first example I'm going to present is the A2AC Author Series. And this we did in end of May and early June. We did it was a 2-part series featuring those 12 writers from the Maternal Interior show. And again, those 12 writers were all professional writers, published in some format, and they read selections from their publications. And we had 2 generous sponsors. We had both Schuler Books and Booksweet bookstores as our event sponsors for those 2 events. And another example of this kind of specific programming was we did a origami paper crane folding drop-in workshops, 2 of them, in conjunction with the Tsuro for Solidarity movement, which is a national movement started by an AAPI-based group to stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and some of the other anti-hate social justice movements that happened kind of starting during the Trump administration and throughout the pandemic. So we did a paper crane folding workshop, and then these paper cranes then were used by Island Performance Collaborative, who we hosted in April. They then used these paper cranes to build a community sculpture at the downtown public library, which is still on view now. It's kind of in the corner of Fifth Avenue and or 5th Street, sorry, and Williams, in that kind of window area. And that those 2 drop-in workshops are generously sponsored again by some local businesses. We had Bloom Meadworks for our evening workshop, and then Washington Donuts and Hyperion Coffee for our Saturday morning, kind of more family, geared towards family event. So our next space, so that's our A2AC main gallery programming and shows. And next I want to jump to our 2nd floor spotlight gallery. This is a smaller gallery. We kind of focus on solo and 2-person shows, as well as once a year we'll do like a kind of like a themed group show. And we also highlight our A2AC instructors in this space twice a year. We have a January instructor show as well as an October instructor show. And if you teach at the Art Center, any instructor is welcome to present a piece. So here you can see the space. Here on the left slide is our January instructor show. And then we have 2 other solo and 2-person show examples here in the space. And then Awake Printmaking Action was our themed group show for this year. It was April through May. And it featured 68 pieces from around 42 artists, both regional and national. And we did do a national call for that. And this show was curated by our exhibitions committee, which is comprised of Washtenaw County-based arts leaders, professors, anything from professional artists to arts, to professors to those in arts administration roles in Washtenaw County. And this show was also hosted. We teamed up with the library to host half of the show because there was so much interest, and it was a perfect way to work with the library and their exhibition space. So here you can see a few photos from the downtown library's portion of the show. And the night of the opening, their letterpress lab brought up one of their presses and was allowing people to create posters. And then here is the Spotlight Gallery's portion of the show. Our 3rd space is our aquarium gallery space, and that is located on Ashley. And it's basically a large window space that works best for site-specific installation. It's about 12 inches deep and about a little over 5 feet by 5 feet. We currently do have a call for submissions and projects for this space open as of today, and that call will be open through August 20th for submissions for shows that will then run starting in October through February 2024. The shows are faster paced, knowing the amount of people that are constantly walking past there. We tried to have a faster pace show around 3 weeks long with a couple day turnover from one installation to the next. But this is what I consider our hyper-local gallery. This space is specifically for Washtenaw County artists to show in. So if you're listening and you want to submit, submissions, we're currently taking submissions. And this space is curated, juried by our exhibitions committee. So the final piece of the exhibitions program here at the A2AC is the A2AC shop. And this is our retail store that features Michigan-based artists as well as Midwest-based artists, a space for them to sell their work and work at various price points. We try and be really conscious about those various price points so that to best, sorry, I'm just looking, I guess best to provide our shoppers an accessible point to buy artwork. Anything from a ceramics mug, which might be a one-off mug, to a painting, a large painting, and everything in between, whether it's a digital print or earrings. We try to provide a space where both artists can sell their work, but also the shopper can come and find something that is a work of art, opposed to something that they would buy in a normal retail store. I want to touch on our Art in Public program. We are bringing this back this fall with, it was kind of put on hold this year. But our Art in Public program includes the A2AC Murals program, as well as the A2AC Alleyways program. And I hope everyone has had a chance to kind of walk around town and see all these amazing murals that have gone up basically during the pandemic, the last couple of years, as well as the Alleyways project, which went up fall of 2022. And then another project went up March 2023. So there's 3 alleyway projects currently up. And so, yeah, stay tuned for more exciting news about this program and its expansion. So I guess to end, I'd like to formally and cordially invite you to our openings this Friday. We have our main gallery show opening. It's called Wavelengths, as well as in the shop area, we're doing a 4-month kind of color themed pop-up shop featuring so many artists. I forget what the final count of both previous artists that have sold in the shop, as well as a lot of new artists that are being hosted in the shop. So I'd like to invite everyone to that. It should be a really great time this Friday. The Wavelength show in the gallery goes till August 19th. But the color shop in our store goes through October 15th. So you have a longer time to see that and come in and purchase some artwork. So this ends my presentation. I guess any questions? Oh, yeah. Or did you raise your hand?
I did. I just wanted to commend you and the Art Center on just the variety of programming that you offer. I think it's amazing, the opportunities that you give to artists and involving kids in the community. Your classes are amazing. And I guess I had a question as well. So here on the Art Commission, we often, have wonderful artists that speak about projects that they would like to see realized. And with, your breadth of programming and community partnerships, it seems like the Art Center is always, an organization that we say, would be great to reach out to and get support and just questions answered and things like that. And I wonder what the best way is to present those sort of artists or opportunities to you, the best way to kind of filter that, because it looks like, with how many shows you have going on, you're curating probably a year or two out at least, and how to kind of make those connections?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, how best for artists to reach out to us and present their projects, present their artwork, and make that connection. Good question. I guess there's a variety of ways, and you're right. We are trying to plan out a little bit in the future in terms of projects, mainly in the specifically for the main gallery, because it is a larger space, and we're trying to really focus in on those shows being presenting, small group shows. So anywhere from like 4 to, I guess the maternal show had a lot of artists, but the best way to contact, I guess, is you can email me directly. I feel like I'm always kind of fielding artists' submissions. My email, I should have included my email on this, I'm sorry. But so my name's Thea. I think I said that at the beginning. But it's TECK, so Thea Eck, TECK, at AnnArborArtCenter.org. You can always call the front desk to our main phone line, and they can transfer you to my phone, although I'm not always sitting at my desk because I'm moving around the art center a lot of times. But if you leave me a message, I will try to return your call, especially if you leave your message and leave your email address. Our shop, in terms of our opportunities in the shop area, we're currently kind of evaluating how best to move forward with that space with soliciting for artwork. The color shop itself, for example, we both reached out to our current artists that we work with, letting them know this theme, letting them know if they wanted to create new work that was like color-based work for it. As well as our shop coordinator, Cece, also reached out to specific artists based on some just research and going to shows and seeing who was showing at, I think, like, just for example, going to Dipsy, and going to that show and going to these like contemporary craft shows and seeing what work is out there and being sold. But best way is just email directly right now. We do calls. If you go to our artist research page on our website, we do calls. So the current Aquarium Gallery call is on that website, is on our website, and that's how you apply, is through our website. And then for our Spotlight Gallery, we'll be doing a call for that here sometime this fall for 2024, for both solo and group shows, and 2-person shows. And that call will be posted again on our website through our artist research page or resources page. We don't have a specific date yet for when that call will go out, but it'll be looking towards 2024 shows. So it was a very roundabout answer.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
But mainly for specific questions, an email, like a direct email is great. Guess any other questions?
All right.
Yeah, thank you again. I really appreciate this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, Thea. Thank you for sharing with us. All right. I believe that's all we have for public comment, according to the agenda. So up next, we have approval of minutes, but it says move to next meeting. So I do not need to invite a motion. I'm wondering, or do we? Should I? Nope, no inviting a motion. All right. Sounds good. And so up next is old business. I see here bicentennial flag. I don't know if we have any updates on that. Does anybody have any updates on the flag?
Oh, go ahead, Sophie, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have an update. I have a question, which was, as far as I remember, we asked for parameters, and as far as I know, we haven't received any parameters of what's required. So we were thinking, should we suggest some and get them okayed rather than try and make the council think of stuff, which is, they've got plenty of other stuff to think about, obviously. And should we do it that way around?
I did send some information to special projects team, I think. So you should have an outline of some instructions that we received as far as putting it together. Again, we're going to mirror the flag program or the design, somewhat similar to the I Voted sticker campaign, and I did send information around about that. I'm available for that smaller group to meet if you'd like to meet sometime soon and hash out some of those details and go line by line through some of those things. So just let me know.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, I'll send something out tomorrow and you all let me know the dates that are available for you.
And I just wanted to make a comment about that. I was thinking about that today because I know we want to get the youth involved. We head back to school, the teachers, I think it's August, I don't know, 21st or something, that week before school starts. And we have PD. So if that special projects groups want me to hook you up with the middle school, high school, or just the whole art staff, it might be nice to present to them during that PD week to kind of get them thinking about their lessons and how they can incorporate this for students. Because I know we talked about wanting to get kids involved. So I know that time frame's kind of tight, but it's, in August. So I think we can get that together. I'd be glad to hook you up. Just let me
Can
know.
you say the date one more time? August? The
I
week-
don't have a calendar in front of me, but is there a Tuesday, maybe
21st,
2nd?
22nd.
I don't know. I know we start school the 28th and teachers have professional development the week before, and it's usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Of course, there's no calendar that's been finalized yet, so we're just kind of going.
Like the
off.
week of the 21st, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And there'll be one whole day that's devoted just to all art teachers will be together. So it would be a good time if you guys wanted to Zoom in or come in person and kind of present it to them. So,
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you, Sophie and Peggy. Anything else on the flag?
Nope.
Okay, I see here mayoral approval received for Ann Arbor Art Center to continue rotating art gallery. Did anybody have any information on that they wanted to share? Or is that it?
No, we did get an okay from Mayor Taylor to reopen the gallery. Thea and we've talked about this in a few times about opening the gallery back up. So we need to connect again to see how best to move that forward. I had just gotten some of that information this week, so we're excited that he's approved us to open that back up. The only difference is it will not be in the city council chambers. It will be on the first floor of City Hall. There are two alcoves on that are on the left and the right side of the Kamarowski. So the ideal is to use those two spaces as a rotating gallery.
Gotcha. Thank you, Vinny. Sophie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question and a suggestion, I guess. I wonder if it's the suggestion first. I wonder if it's possible to, or too complicated, I don't know, to include either a little video or pictures of those artworks on our website. pages, the art commission pages, because that would be a nice way of keeping it refreshed and connecting with people.
You mean when we actually have the, what do you call it? When you actually have it up, you want those to be displayed for periods, sure. Mhm.
Yeah,
I can check on that, yeah.
it would be great if somebody could do that. I know it's extra work, but it would be really nice
Yeah.
way to keep fresh the pages.
It'd also be nice just to have an interview of the artist or artists, kind of talking about their vision or their artist statement or something. That would be really nice.
Yeah. So the other question I had was really to Thea, was whether how you choose those artists. Are they chosen from people in the shop? Are they chosen in another way? And how would people get in touch with you if they wanted to take part?
For the city gallery space. Yeah, I think Vinita and I haven't touched
Yeah.
base. The initial meeting we had, I think, March. I can't remember when that was, Vinita.
Yeah, it was sometime.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So we need to touch base again, based on this new information. So, but definitely once we work out what that looks like, we'll make sure that information is out in the world so that artists can find it and apply if there's an application or however format is best used. We'll make sure that everyone knows. Yeah.
Originally, when that gallery was started, the idea was that if you could thematically or in terms of the group show be some way connected to municipal government. And I see you really are into that kind of concept. In other words, all city employees maybe, or all police officers, or having something to do with neighborhoods, or thematically connected to the building itself, democracy in action, kind of challenge artists in that particular way. And I mean, you've done that in the spotlight galleries, and I love kind of how you've approached the thinking of grouping it. But so that was the original idea, is to try and have that space, not just artwork that inspires, which it does, but to try and focus it in some unique way and to try and tie in the people. Toledo does this very effectively. So if you can get, police officers to put their artwork there, they will bring their family down to look at that. And that, that kind of breaks that mold out, but it's just food for thought.
Thank you. That's great. Yes. Yeah. It was good getting to hear that, me being new and kind of this being a new project for me. I know the Arts Center years ago had helped curate that space. And so to kind of hear that from you with what that original vision was and what that kind of inspiration was, your reference to Toledo, that's good for me to know. Thank you for that guidance. Yeah.
All right. I invite a motion to approve old business. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you. All right, up next, we have new business. Nothing listed there, but I'm guessing, Vinita, this may be where I could share a little bit about the review of the ARPA grant application process, review team. Okay. I'll share that and then we'll get opportunity if anybody else has anything they wanted to share for new business. But so there has been a group assembled to review all of the applications for this ARPA money, assisted by Creative Washtenaw, of course, who we brought on to kind of help facilitate the money going out, this $500,000. So that group is myself, Jamal Bufford, Ingrid Alt, Zeta Gillis, Thomas Reichel, Pravina Ramaswamy, Hananiah Wiggins. And so we have set up a first kind of review deadline for this Friday, the 14th. We kind of took just we decided to go with the first people who submitted and try to get those done and kind of figure out if that process that we process and protocol we decided on is effective, trying to get it done as soon as possible. So we hope to have this first round done by this Friday, the 14th. As you all may or may not know, there's, I believe, $280,000 allotted for the recovery grants, organizations and companies looking for recovery. And then I believe there's $180,000 for programs designed for youth and BIPOC and marginalized audiences. I believe right now we have 2 applicants who fall into the initiatives for youth and BIPOC, and then 23 for recovery. So still a lot of room for a lot of applicants. So I would say keep trying to get the word out as much as you can. Yeah. Did you have a hand, Thea? Go ahead.
Sorry, let me lower my hand. Yeah, I'm just thinking that when is the deadline for that? Was the final, or is it like basically you're accepting? I'm trying to remember. I know I read through everything and now I'm forgetting when.
Yep. That is I believe it. I can look it up. If anybody knows offhand.
I can look it up too, but that's probably something that the Arts Center can help through our artist resource, our artist mailing list. Our artist mailing list goes beyond Washtenaw County, but I'm sure there's a way for us to kind of focus in that mailing list and send it directly to our artists, to Washtenaw County based artists. So I'll look into that and get back to you how we can help get that information out further.
That'd be great. Thank you. Go ahead, Sophie.
Yeah, I don't remember when the final deadline was, but as far as I remember, it was decided that the money should be dispersed on a kind of first come, first served basis. So people who get their application in earlier have a better chance than those who come in later. But probably everyone will be on the last day because A, they're artists, and B, the word always takes a long time to get out to some people. So, so there's always a chance for everybody, even if you haven't got your act together yet.
Yep. I'm going to look this deadline up. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's Ann Arbor city limits though, isn't it? It's not Washtenaw County.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for that, Mary. I'm seeing to find the doc. August 31st. Yep, it opened June 13th. And it goes until really the funds run out, or August 31st. Does anyone else have any new business they want to share? Okay. I invite a motion to approve the new minutes. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you, Mary.
Could I just, this is not new business, but this is just a thought I've been carrying from our conversations from the past several months. I think we talked about at some point reaching out to the Arts Council or Arts Commission in Ypsi and trying to have a meet together. And I would like to figure out how we might have a conversation with them. I'm happy to kind of spearhead that in some way, find out what their meeting times are, and if Anita will work with me with our meeting times, see if there might be an appropriate time where we might be able to meet with folks in Ipsy that are interested in the arts and find ways that we might support each other or collaborate on things, ways to connect our two cities through the arts. Is an initiative I think is really something that I'm very excited about, and we've talked about it in the past. I just wanted to kind of put that back on the table as something for us in our future meetings to kind of continue the conversation about.
So Marianetta, would you be willing to meet outside of our regular public art meetings to have some conversations with folks on their side and folks on our side?
I would be, but I guess that's a question for all of us.
Okay, all right.
Whether that would be too imposing on people's schedules, whether
Sure.
it should be a Zoom meeting, or do we have a meet up in person, or, but I
Yeah.
think some connections, some conversation would be really wonderful.
So
I agree.
hi, Sophie.
Yeah, I think that's a great remembering and idea. I don't know whether it comes under special projects or communications or whatever it comes under, but I'd be very happy to be involved in that if I can.
Why not have Marianetta spearhead it and just get some information and then suggest a way that if it needs anything more than formally, but Sophia and Marianetta, I think I trust both of you to, you're interested, do it, figure it out.
I think it would be, I like to vote for, I think it would be fun to meet in person.
I
Little
do
More
too.
informal than Zoom. Meet someplace, maybe go to Ipsy someplace. There's a lot of great spots we could meet up. Be fun to do it in person, I think. For 2 cents, my
too.
2 cents.
I agree.
I could circle back with you guys and send you some information and get some contact and reach out and we'll loop back in.
Okay, that sounds great.
Cool. All right. What do we have next? We have report from committees. So that would be we got Capital Improvement Project Group. Any updates from that group?
Well, the leadership group did meet with Cynthia, and we went over some of the what we had put on the list and just CIP in general, so that she was prepared to present that to City Council. I've not heard if that had been reported yet, but we did have a conversation with Cynthia, just prepping her for that meeting, and went very well.
Yes. All right. Business owners and developers work group. John, anything?
The design review board did not meet, so nothing to report.
Thank you. Communications work group.
Did not meet, nothing to report.
Right. Fundraising work group. Any updates? I believe that's Allison, Sarah, and Mary.
We also didn't meet, so we have nothing to report there.
All right. Just going in order. Nominations and leadership review work group. That's not even, that's like later on, right?
It's okay.
All right. Leadership. Sarah just kind of gave an update on leadership. Special projects, which myself, Sophie, Sarah, Peggy. I feel like the Ypsilanti connection might have been, maybe not. But we do the golden paintbrush. Any updates on? Go ahead, Sarah.
Sorry, I had one more thing to add to leadership. Allison and I are going to be working on the annual report for both this year and last year. We're going to submit them together. Vanita, thank you for your help on that. So we are going to be meeting after the Ann Arbor Art Fair has gone. through so that we can put those all together. So you'll be seeing those reports soon that we'll submit to City Council. And also, of course, having Fong join our group, which we said at the beginning, but again, welcome.
Great. Actually, I'm looking through it now. It says Leadership and Art Placement Work Group actually is kind of on our agenda, is looking to collaborate the IPSI Art Commission. So, but I would willingly be a part of it. Marianetta, if you want to take the lead and you need any support, please let me know. Anything else from special projects?
Special projects, we don't seem to have had as much success in getting applications for the Golden Paintbrush Award. I don't know if you heard back, Vanita, where we've got with that. Did we get any nominations?
I don't have any numbers of the online submittals. I'm hoping to have something by Friday. And again, we've extended that out to August the 1st for folks to apply. I've done some small flyers and things like that out in library and things like that. So I may make a few more if I could share those with you guys. If there's some areas that you're in that you'd like to post for the public to see, I'd certainly be willing to share.
I'd be happy to share on my socials again.
Okay.
I'm sure, yeah, for sure.
Okay, great.
Is there any other way we can get the word out at this point? I wonder.
I think it's already on social media, so we can drum that up a little bit more. And I don't think that we did it.
Sorry.
I didn't hear you, Sophie.
Is there somewhere we can we share the link from? I guess we can share the link from the website, right, to our own social media.
Yeah. Yes.
Would you do that?
Did you put some flyers like in the public libraries?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think they're used a lot this time of year.
Yep. And I sent some out directly through email change for some folks too. Yeah.
Right.
I think we also talked about individual art commissioners can nominate 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 people themselves. So we can do it ourselves. So we can, you've got some ideas, some projects, submit it. I think that's how we did we agree to that?
Yeah,
That
anyone can.
right?
Even-
I did have a question. So I think last time we announced Golden Paintbrush, we had 1 or 2 mentions like in MLive articles, which I can't remember if we got a little bit of press from them with the initial announcement this year. Vanita, do you remember? I'm mixing up which year was which. I'm not sure if we got multiple mentions.
I'm not remembering that we did for this
Okay.
year.
But a press release was sent out with that initial announcement.
Yes.
Would it be possible to send it one more time, just with the announcement of the deadline extension?
Okay. I can check with communications.
I know that's a big ask, but I think that might be helpful.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, special projects. I think we had a flag design update. Anything else? Special projects? All right, outreach group, myself, Marianetta, Sophie, Mary. I think this might be kind of in line with Peggy's update about the school starting and trying to connect with some young people. Any other updates for outreach group?
When you say young people, Jamal, are we looking for young commissioners? Is that? Or just a
Yeah, yeah.
non-voting youth commissioners? Okay, I think I got a gaggle I could invite.
Okay, awesome.
Is there a formal process for that or an application, or do they just show up at a meeting? What do we want from them?
Why don't you write
What?
something up and present it? So, you've got some folks, circulate it among us, email, these are the people that you would like to, and let's get some folks that are excited, enthused, get them on board. And it's just a matter of the group here voting them in as a non-voting member that, you know, we might want to try like 1 or 2 to start with and then mentor them along before we get like, you know, 6 students. There'll be more than us. So
Thea, do you have youth interns at the Art Center that you think might be interested in sitting as a non-voting member on a public city, you know, a city public art commission? I don't know if Art Center has, you know, high school youth engagement going on.
That's a good question for Jean Spindler.
Mhm. Cool.
Yeah, because I don't have any interns with me in exhibitions. So, but I know, well, especially with summer camps, we have lots of kids of all ages, teens, young, but I guess the counselors are all college age, but we do have a number of teen volunteer counselors.
I think we could have college age as well if they're interested, could we not?
So,
let's get them on board.
Okay, I believe that is all of the work groups. I invite a motion to approve the work group updates. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll approve.
Very much.
Almost.
And it looks like that is our agenda. Says adjourn. How do I wrap this thing up? Do I gotta call for a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Yeah. And I make a motion to adjourn a
Not
second.
yet, not yet, not yet.
Not yet? Nope. Sorry. Go ahead, Sophie.
I'm probably late because it took me forever to persuade my computer to help, but I would just like to welcome Fang on board, and so happy to have another commissioner with us, and looking forward to working with her.
Thank you, Sophie.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you all.
All right. I call a motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor, we stand adjourned.
Wow, this is record timing, you guys.
it is record time.
Thank
Very
you so
good,
much,
Jamal.
Thea, for joining us. We're excited
Yes,
about
thank you.
knowing more about the Art Center, as you know, and the partnership.
Yeah,
Yeah.